Do you know the difference between real and fake friends? I ask that as a very serious question because growing up, we're all wrestling fans. We're people that watch relationships. We're talking brothers. We're talking friends. We're talking people that traveled the road together. People that shared their lives intimately. People that opened up themselves. Life is kind of like having a tag team wrestling partner in a way, if you truly think about it. You got to find that person that'll have your back no matter what. And unfortunately, in some of the history of wrestling, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels, Legacy, the Primetime Player, there's so many tag teams that turned on each other. People that you thought were perfect together. Now, sometimes in life you can wait for the reunion tour. You can wait for them to show back up together and be a part of a team. Or sometimes they just never see each other again. Sometimes it becomes like a Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels feud where the person that you shared your most intimate moments with, shared the road with, you don't actually ever get to talk to again. Because you made choices in your life that affected theirs. And that's probably the hardest thing about wrestling is not knowing what's real and fake. So in life, when you grow up, maybe on the spectrum, you don't realize you're neurodivergent until you're 32 being diagnosed. You wonder if those friends really ever had your back in the first place. Or were they always in it for something else? Did they not have something in their life going, so it was finding somebody with similar struggles and you bonded over it? You know, when the New Day debuted in WWE, I remember we disliked it. But this idea of a faction that Xavier Creed kept pushing, and Big E and Kofi Kingston, that they've always had their back and they've never turned on each other in the entire history of the WWE. Those friends that celebrate your wins while one gets the massive title win. But sometimes when your tag team partner gets left in the dust and he's all alone, and you move on to the main event, and maybe every once in a while you still make a call to get him booked somewhere, or you still do a brother favor, but you still took the main event spot from him. And he's not going to forget that. In fact, it might actually encourage him to bust his ass harder to come take your spot. And in the spirit of competition, I can't fault that. If you get knocked off your pedestal and your spot gets taken, maybe you shouldn't have been in the spot in the first place. And that right there is probably the hardest thing in wrestling. Say you have a partner, say you turn on him, say you go out on your own, and then you realize you were better with a partner. You weren't better on your own. But it's too late. You made your decisions. And that's the side of wrestling I don't think we ever got to see. Like for storylines or business, they maybe broke up on screen and maybe they were cool with it. But I've always wanted to sit down with wrestlers and ask people like Jake Cage and Jay Evans, right? Legends in New Jersey from GTS Wrestling. I loved watching them together, and then they broke up and they came back together. And that's a small example because many of you probably don't know who I'm talking about, but I always thought Jay could go on to be a star by himself, and he is. But I don't think you ever outgrow that first tag team partner that you had that was there every step of the way that you traveled the road with for 10 years. No matter if they leave to go to another company. No matter if you never get to see them again. As a tag team partner, you never lied. And they were your favorite person. They had your back and you had their back every step of the way. Until you didn't. And in those moments, it defines you as a person. So to every tag team wrestler that's shown what it's like to have a best friend and to have to turn on them or the reasons behind it, thank you. Thank you for showing me that what I had was real. And the tag team partner that I had, there was nobody better. But when you're so caught up in your own head about what you think you deserve, honestly, you miss the good days. And you miss your tag team partner. But you can't sit idly by. Get back up, get in the main event, and push yourself, because there's nothing better than wrestling.